Hey there, Saguto golfers. Tom Saguto here, coming to you from the beautiful Tradition Club in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Today we're looking at one of the most consistent golf swing keys to get you hitting the ball with a lot more power and accuracy. And it's all about the downswing. I see so many of you at the start of your downswing trying to fire your hips, meaning you're turning your hips a lot in the downswing. But this is a huge problem. I know you're probably seeing all this advice over the internet saying, fire the hips, fire the hips, fire the hips. And here we are saying, don't fire the hips. Why? Well, the big problem is firing your hips so soon is kind of like shooting a gun before you aim it. When you start firing those hips, you turn the hips at the start of your downswing, the club starts moving over, down, and across the golf ball. And what's that mean? It just means death for the ball flight. It's going off the planet into the woods. You're rarely hitting the fairway. Your ball striking is very inconsistent. You're hitting a lot behind the ball, and it's tough to get a crispy divot. There's almost no power too. So the way to increase your power is to slow your hips. And stick with me here because this is a really important key. You've got to train the hips. Instead of turning so soon, we've got to get them moving towards the target first. So slowing the hips gets you going more targetward, puts more weight on the front side. If you find that you're a golfer who ends up getting a lot of weight on the backside and falling back through the shot or standing up, think about your hips. As I start down, the hips begin moving towards the target. This is the key. The hips don't really start spinning out. They don't ever do that. You've got to learn to store the power in your hips and use it at the right time. So if you're using your power at the wrong time, you're going to have bad ball striking and no power. That's no fun. So here's what's happening. I start down by moving weight towards the target, the club staying behind me. That's a huge key. This is downswing success key number one, path. Never getting over here, never going down and deep into the ground. No, we've got the path of the club staying behind you with the weight moving forward. It's only at this point then do we unleash the wrath of the hips on the golf ball. You know, that's a beautiful thing because this is what's happening. It's like you're loading more gunpowder into your gun and then pulling the trigger and poof, huge explosion. I'm doing that right here. Loading it, loading it, loading it because the hips are being stalled. I'm slowing them down. They're stored. And then I'm saying it's time to unleash them. And there's a huge swath through the ball. It's like that punch sound you hear in all the movies. It's like Bruce Lee. You gotta learn to tell your hips, no, you can't fire so quickly. And I know you want to fire them so quickly. So here's the trick. I've got a handy dandy alignment stick here, best training aid in golf, like $1.99 at Home Depot. And I've got an alignment stick here for my target line. If your hips spin out with this drill, you'll know for sure. Take this stick and shove it between your hips in my belt loops. Go in between the belt loops. Tom, where are you going with this? This is kind of crazy, man. You're going off the deep end. We're not gonna hit a ball with this because you'll probably end up hitting the stick. But the whole point of this is to match up the hip line with the foot line here. Now, when I start down, check this out. My hips are even with the ball prior to impact. After impact, they fire. This will get the club on the proper path and then through. The feeling I want you to have though is a little bit more extreme than that. It's like you're dragging your hips without turning along this line for a longer time. So I want you to feel like you're pushing those hips, sliding them along that line. That's gonna give you a lot more weight on the front side. This is good. You're gonna keep pushing that weight to the front side and I'm matching the line. It's a crazy looking position, yes. But if you know golf, you know feel isn't real. So we need to train lateral and then hit the ball and feel the turn later. So here we go. I might hit a ball with the stick. Oh geez, this could be interesting. I'm gonna set up, top of backswing, start my downswing moving lateral and hit. Look afterwards, I've turned my hips. Do not fire the gun before you aim it. In our case, do not fire the hips until you've slid laterally enough to this point in the downswing and then fire. You'll see that The ball is exploding off the face here, but what happens if I spin out? Geez, my hands are probably gonna hit the stick on the way down. Turns out this stick's actually a good investment. I won't be able to hit this ball if I do that. But if I focus on the opposite, keeping those hips moving laterally, just turning my shoulders, downswing, lateral, everything's going towards the target except my head. Sliding along that line. Ooh. Let's hit one slowly because this is interesting. Oh, that was the best. You know, I did not even think that this drill was going to come out today, because you're watching it come out for the first time as I'm seeing it. This is even better than what I envisioned. This is gold. I might have to do this more often. You should be experiencing some of this gold too. There's gold in them hills. It's like that mac and cheese commercial. Remember saying, there's some gold in that mac and cheese. Yeah, that's what's happening here. So keep pushing those hips forward. Slow, slow, slow. Dang, that feels good. Tastes good. I'm delaying the hips. Does this work with the driver? Well, it's gonna actually make you drive a lot better. If you don't have your driver's license, you'll get one after this. Most common driver flaw on the planet. I see this in all the lessons I give online. It's kind of like when people introduce themselves, they say, hi, my name is, but then they say, I fire my hips too early in the downswing. So it's like, hi, my name is Bob, and I fire my hips too early in the downswing. And I'll be like, hi Bob, nice to meet you. I'm sorry about those hips. Let's get them from firing. And basically, that's how we introduce ourselves in golf world now. So with the driver, it's the same thing, because the most common driver problem is to fire the hips early, and you get in this over the top position, and then you look like that guy on the infomercial who's hitting the ball all over the planet. It's like, before he used the GX7, he was hitting it off, and then he got the GX7, he's hitting it straight. Can't stand those, they're so predictable. Don't be predictable. So I get set up here. Same thing, just don't spin. Ow, that hurt. Come on, they wanna go. Do you wanna go? No, no you don't. You don't wanna mess with this right now. It's like those rabid squirrels. Oh. They're out right now. It's pollen season, they're out. All right, enough messing around, hips. No, stop, stop, stop. This is gonna be you on the driving range. Stop, stop, stop. No, no, there's people watching, be good. Shh, tell your hips that. All right, backswing, downswing, feel it. Okay, that was really nice. Don't expect to hit that one well. I mean, it's a segmented swing. Just the form is what we want right here. Don't spin out. DSO, don't spin out. All right, let's hit a shot a little bit more full here. Nice. I'm just not spinning out my hips. Beautiful. Right in the center of the face. Risking certain death with this hip stabbing device. For only 7 easy payments in $19.95, this training aid could be yours. Actually, if you use code SagutoGolf at Home Depot, you can get it for $2.19, and this thing will save your life from firing those hips too early. So keep the hips slow. Don't spin them out. It goes against everything you hear. I know, blah, blah, blah. But look, if you keep getting garbage out there, you got to change the program here to change it from garbage out there to change it to magnificent out there. So do something magnificent and different. This is magnificent and different. Lateral, slow the hips will produce bombs and lasers out there to your target. The key to playing great golf. Have an awesome week.